ETH, we start with 1 hour chart. We want to give a quick update. First of all, if you refer to our analysis in my last video, since the price was within this movement, exactly within this correction, I mentioned exactly within here, if I make it correct. All right. Because I mentioned we want to see the breakout of 3350. That's why I mentioned if you're looking for the continue, we want to see the continuation, we need to see the breakout of this level. Anyway, the price continue a bit, but the way was moving is corrective, and we did get the drop before we price tag 3350. And if we refer to our analyzer, I mentioned if you want to look for buy from here by having entry above the top, we need to be quite careful because simply the price can tag and drop, and this is what we get. Anyway, when we see this reversal and we get this one, this is where we should take out the trade. Because if you refer to the forward chart, we have a divergence, or at least move towards stop loss to break even. That means we had the opportunity to take out the trade. Okay. Now, once see what's the next. If we move to daily chart, if we refer to our analysis, first thing again, we wanted to see the breakout of this level. And I mentioned since we get this sharp move, we are expecting to get the daily correction. Because if we get the daily correction, we can expect it can give us better confirmation for continuation because we see the breakout of the previous top. All right. But I was expecting to see the breakout of the 3350 before we get the DP correction. I know the question is whether this is the correction we have been looking for or not. Mostly, if this one turned to a correction, it can give us better confirmation to look for continuation. But now, want to see how we can look for trade and how we can look at the chart in based on lower time frame. And if we move to forward chart, the only thing is okay, because I mentioned we had a divergence. If we put this top after we see the breakout in relative to the previous one, simply we can see we had a divergence. That's why this is where we should take out the trade and we shouldn't keep the trade, or at least move our stop loss to break even. And now we want to see how we can look at the chart. Since we get this reversal, I don't think we can consider this one as a DP correction in relative to this. And even if you want to look at this one as a running flat, it's not really good to look at this one as a running flat, because if you want to put this correction in relative to this, which this one turns, I mean, it should be a DP correction. That's mean either we expect to get the deeper correction here, but if the price continue from here as what we explained in my last analysis, with the breakout of this level, still we can expect to get the deeper correction. All right. Now, the only thing is how we can look at the chart. And I don't think, based on my experience, we cannot consider this one as a running flat in relative to this. The only thing is, even if we want to look at this one as a running flat, we need to consider as internally, that means within this correction. We cannot put this one as a correction in relative to this move. Maybe we can consider similar to what we get here, the first running flat following by second one internally, okay? And now the only way we want to see, you look at the chart, we want to see whether we can expect this one turn running flat, similar to what we get here. That means we can look for continuation, and still we want to see the breakout of this 3350. And how deep it can go, the only way is we can put our fib here, and we look for the percentage 21, 30, or 61 the percent. I don't think the price is going to drop as much as the 61%, because at that case mostly we can consider as a reversal, because if we move to daily chart, we don't want to see the reversal for the price to return to this on the correction zone. All right, that's why we mentioned if we see the breakout of the 3350, if we get the deeper correction based on daily chart, is good for us, because mostly from there we can be, I mean, the possibility of the price to return to this one is very less. Anyway, we move to 1 hour chart. We want to see how we can look at the chart. The only way is, as I mentioned, based on forward chart, we want to see whether we can look at this as an internal running flat or not. And the only way to look for the reversal, first things, we don't want to see the breakout of the previous low, which is 2.9k. And if we get any reversal as a short move flag, this is the only way we can look for buying right now without the trade setup is not really good idea. Even if the price reverses as a sharp move, it depends on the traders. May we get the reversal similar to what we get here, because if even within this one, there was no trade setup unless we trade based on lower time frame, maybe 15 minute. Okay, but the only way right now we can look at the chart, we can consider this one as internally as a running flat. And if he wants to look for trade, we need to see the reversal as a sharp move flag. then we take the trade and we put our stop loss somewhere below this one, somewhere around 2.9k, and we want to see the breakout of the 3350. Rather than that, we don't see any other way or any other possibility. If we referring to the, if we're looking for the trade setup, we don't see any other possibility at this time unless we see the changes. And I don't think this is the start of the reversal or either deep correction. By the way, if we want to look for buy, we need to look for the trade setup, because as I mentioned, if we move to daily chart, we are expecting to get the deep correction. What I mean by deep correction, similar to what we get here, or at least similar to what we had here. All right, if we want to look for continuation. Anyway, we just follow the chart. If I see any update or trade setup or any changes, I will share. Thanks.